New today, a tragic suicide begs the question, what can we do to prevent situations like this in the future? We'll show you a local group that's finding a way to deal with their own thoughts of suicide. Good afternoon, I'm Dustin Koja.
And I'm Josh Buda. Well, like it or not, it's that time of year again. Farmers are finishing up in the fields, temperatures are dropping, and there's even snow in the forecast. Have you gotten your flu shot yet? This is the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
Depression affects 121 million people worldwide, resulting in 850,000 suicides every year. But in Omaha, there's an organization that holds meeting to try to prevent suicides from happening. John Carter gives us a closer look.
On October 25th, authorities found the body of a 19-year-old male who jumped off the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge. And some people are doing all they can to try to prevent instances like this from happening ever again.
Right here at First United Methodist Church, there's a lady that's running an organization that has to deal with mental health. And she knows from experience that bad mental health could result in suicide.
My husband died unexpectedly, and I was left with two small children, 6 and 4, and I had no place to put all this anger that I was feeling, this rage, and I put it on myself, and I became very depressed, and I was suicidal. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts.
But then, Kathy Falsberg read something that stopped these suicidal thoughts right in their tracks.
I read an article in Ann Lander's advice column, and this lady had written a letter that I could have written. And she said, get yourself to a recovery meeting.
Falsberg liked it so much, she's been a recovery meeting leader for 11 years. And according to Margie O'Hanlon, depressed people need to make the effort and start going to meetings.
I wish more people could have access to this and then put the time and the commitment into it that it needs.
For the Omaha News, I'm John Carter.
Recovery International meets every Monday at 1 p.m. at First United Methodist Church and every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. at St. Matthew's Church. For more information on what goes on during the meetings, go to lowselfhelpsystems.org.
The military is dealing with their own suicide prevention. According to the Department of Defense, over 2,000 veterans or soldiers have committed suicide. 1/3 of them had told someone they were having suicidal thoughts, and just under half of them had sought help at the military treatment facility in the last 90 days before it. To help remedy the situation, the military has provided mental health services, internet outreach, and has tried to identify what leads to suicide. Typically, those at the most risk are dealing with stress from relationship issues, work-related problems, finances, legal concerns, alcohol, and substance abuse.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released some alarming statistics this week. Inappropriately used medications kill 40 people per day. That comes out to just under 15,000 people each year. The CDC says that 1 in every 20 Americans aged 12 on up have misused pain medications such as hydrocodone, methadone, oxycodone, and oxymorphone. If you're no longer using these drugs as part of a prescription, it's best to get rid of them. If you're struggling with prescription drug abuse, you can call 1-800-662-HELP.
One of the best ways to keep prescription medications from falling into the wrong hands is through a drug drop-off. Nick Freeman is live in the newsroom with more. Nick?
Thanks, Josh. The event was initiated by the Drug Enforcement Administration and was held nationwide. Anyone wanting to get rid of old or unused prescription medications could do so safely and anonymously. I dropped by a local Walgreens where one event was being held. You usually go to drugstores to pick up prescription medicine. This week, sites around the country will allow you to drop them off.
We're doing a drug take-back event today to make sure that we can get prescription drugs less available to people in the community for abuse.
The DEA, when they have an incinerator, everything gets incinerated and destroyed that way. And we take all the, patient information is protected because it's all incinerated.
Well, this is the DEA-sponsored Day for Drug Take-Backs. They're happening all over the country today. We do sponsor other drug take-backs that are local to our area, but today's the national one.
The Douglas County Sheriff has this location, 132nd Center and 84th and Harrison.
Disposing drugs at home is a lot harder than it used to be. We have some pretty specific guidelines that you have to follow. You usually have to destroy the pills. You have to mix them with something that's undesirable, like coffee grounds or kitty litter.
The Drug Enforcement Administration says that the sites will be around the country for the next week in part of an effort to prevent drug abuse.
Unused or expired prescription medications are a public safety issue. Having it, those in your medication cabinets can lead to abuse or overdose or anything if you have it sitting around, like especially with teenagers. You just don't want to have it in your cabinets.
This is the DEA's third nationwide event, and the first two collections took in more than 309 tons of pills. It was overseen by the Douglas County Sheriff's Office and the LiveWise Coalition. Students from Creighton's pharmacy program were also on hand to help dispose of the medications. Josh?
Thanks, Nick. Well, if you missed this weekend's drop-off and still want to get rid of unused medication, you can find tips and instructions on the Food and Drug Administration's website. Visit fda.gov and search for drug disposal.
While some people are getting rid of old medications, others are having problems getting the prescriptions they need. On Tuesday, President Obama issued an executive order to the Food and Drug Administration to get advanced warning of shortages. It also instructed the FDA to speed up processing of medication production so it doesn't take as long for the paperwork to go through to make more medicine. A law similar to the executive order has been stuck in Congress since February, and this executive order is President Obama's way of telling them to speed it up while saving lives. Coming up after the break, Marcia Adler of UNO Student Health Services will join us to talk about the upcoming flu season and the upcoming Health and Wellness Fair.
And later, we'll take a look at President Obama's new plan to help college students with their debt. It's all coming up on the Omaha News.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Feed your brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed your brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on the Knowledge Network.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Josh Buda, and I'm joined here by Marcia Adler from UNO Student Health Services to talk about the flu season and UNO's Health and Wellness Fair. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
Now, with the flu season right around the corner, what are some practical ways that our viewers at home can prevent the flu?
Well, some of it's pretty common sense. The number one thing people can do is get a flu shot, a seasonal flu shot, and one of the other things is people need to understand what the flu actually is. The influenza that we give the shot for is 3 major strains of a virus that travels around the world. So some of the preventive things you can do at home is like eat well, get enough sleep, wash your hands. If you're around children who have runny noses or coughs, just wash your hands after you help them. Just those kind of real basic protective things like drinking orange juice. But the flu shot is the number one thing. The one thing I want to make sure everyone understands, we're not talking about nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Whole different ballgame.
Right.
Flu shot does not protect against that.
Mm-hmm. All right, and UNO is actually having a health and wellness fair tomorrow afternoon. What can you tell us about
It's
that?
actually tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning,
and
yeah.
it's located in the Hyper Building, which is our new fitness center, and it's open to the public and to the UNO faculty, staff, and students, and to the Omaha community. And it's twofold. One is we have about 64 vendors that are going to be there to talk about all different aspects of wellness. You can get your hearing checked, you can get your blood sugar checked, you can meet with a chiropractor and understand if your back, what's going on with your back. Podiatrists, OBGYN, lots of different physicians and services from the community will be available to meet with people, answer questions. It's interactive. People can understand how much body fat they have, all those different kinds of things. And then in addition to that, if somebody's looking for a flu shot, they could get a flu shot at that time. There's also a major lab opportunity. So if someone would like to know what their cholesterol level is or what their liver function is, or if you're over 40 and you're a male and you want to know what your prostate cancer, your PSA is, we can check that.
Yeah, I understand they're also having kind of a blood donation
And
drive.
then they're doing a blood drive. So
Right.
if you want to do the blood drive, wait with your flu shot and do the blood drive, and then come on over and do your flu shot. And the blood drive, again, is an opportunity. We've never done that in conjunction with the health fair. We do lots of them at UNO, but we encourage people to donate blood, because this time of year blood supplies get short in the Omaha area, and so we're partnering with the Red Cross, and it's okay to have your lab draw with the health fair and do the blood drive. You can do it all on the same day. It's not a conflict. And so we're hoping people will step up. And for people that have never donated blood before and they're worried about, oh, I don't like to be stuck with needles or all that good
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I would suggest is drink lots of water, drink orange juice, drink some fluids in the morning before you go have the blood draw, just so that you're well hydrated. That makes the stick easier. And then you're just a one shot instead of multiple sticks to have that happen. And it's usually a really good experience, and they'll feed you when you're done. And people have very little negative outcomes from doing that.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Marsh, for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
And again, the UNO, again, the UNO Health and Wellness Fair is on Thursday, November 3rd in the Health, Physical Education, and Recreation Building on campus here at UNO from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can have your blood tested, receive other screenings, and donate blood to the Red Cross.
Researchers at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota are working on a new technique for CPR. The technique is a combination of a variety of treatments which brought a man back to life after being clinically dead for just over an hour due to cardiac arrest. His wife began normal CPR immediately, and when the paramedics got to the scene, they hooked the man up to a defibrillator and capnography machine. The machine allows the first responders to measure the success of the CPR by measuring blood flow. After this, they induced hypothermia for 24 hours and slowly warmed him back up. The man slipped into a week-long coma but woke up with 0 brain damage, and he will make a full recovery. After the break, UNO softball is getting a new home. They're moving from their home by the interstate to something a little bit nicer.
Also, college can get pretty expensive, but find out how the president is trying to help out college students out of debt. You're watching the Omaha News.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is where you'll find unlimited possibilities. At UNO, our 15,000 students are learning what they need to know to join the workforce of tomorrow. With 200 programs, students participate in innovative academics and are engaged in dynamic campus and community life. The University of Nebraska at Omaha. Step up to the metropolitan advantage at bmav.com.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city, or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO-TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
Tune in to Big Red Wrap-Up each week for Husker football analysis and insights. Tuesday night at 7 Central Time, only on NET1 and NET-HD, Nebraska's home for sports.
You're watching the Omaha News.
It's common knowledge that a college education isn't exactly cheap. Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Josh Buda.
And I'm Dustin Kocha. Your average college student that needs federal aid leaves school with a bachelor's degree and, oh yeah, $20,000 or $30,000 of debt. That's excluding Stafford, Perkins, state, college, and private loans. The Know Before You Owe plan, recently introduced by President Obama, is catching the attention of college students. Jacob York has the story.
President Obama's Know Before You Owe plan reduces the maximum required payment on student loans from 15% of their annual discretionary income to 10% of this income. This plan could reduce payments by as much as a couple $100s a month and affect over 1.6 million borrowers. Any of the students' remaining debt will be forgiven after 20 years instead of 25 years. To qualify for this plan, you must have student loans in 2012 and have had loans in at least one of the previous 4 years.
I'm a taxpayer, obviously, and it'll raise my taxes, and I'll have to be paying for somebody else's student loans because they can't cover what they should be in control of. I don't feel that I should be paying for your student loans when I had to pay for my own, and I don't have the, I'm barely making by, I'm paying mine, I shouldn't have to pay yours as well.
Students around the Omaha Metro voiced their concerns about Obama's Know Before You Owe plan.
It's stupid, because it's just going to put us in more debt.
Well, I think it's a good plan for now, but how's that going to affect my taxes in the future? That's what I want to know.
It seems like an actually good plan for college kids and coming out of college. However, I have a feeling that it sounds good, but in the end it will hurt us more. They want to make it easier to pay or have students pay off their loans, but it's going to hurt the taxpayers more in the long run.
The Obama administration also announced the Pay-As-You-Earn program, which plans to cut monthly payments students make on these loans. The program is scheduled to start in 2014. This week, the National Center for Education Statistics released their nation's report card for 4th grade and 8th grade math and reading scores. Nebraska ranked right at the national average for 4th and 8th grade math. However, the state's reading scores were higher than the national public average for both 4th and 8th grades. Iowa was the exact opposite, with higher than average math scores while maintaining the national average for reading scores.
Sometimes when kids are losing motivation or struggling in school, all they need is a little help and encouragement from a mentor. Mentors are constantly needed, yet pretty hard to come by. Reporter Elizabeth Valla shows you how much impact a mentor can have.
Mentoring may be something that not everyone thinks about, but for some kids, it's all they have.
To be honest, without the Trailblazers, I'm not really sure where I would be in life. I'd probably be a mess up.
At first I was a class clown, and then they actually told me, if you want to go somewhere, you gotta act older than what you are. So now I do way more mature things. Like I do my work now, something I never did.
The problem? A lack of mentors, while the demand for a positive influence continuously grows.
How many kids out there don't have a positive person in their life? Of course they have teachers and they have counselors, but just having someone on the outside that's doing something for you for no reason at all, you just need that one person.
Many of the students that walk down this hallway are in need of volunteers like you to help mentor them.
Just raising awareness about the need for mentors. There is such a tremendous need in our community for all mentors, and we want to reach out and tell our story about the need and how easy it is to help a young person.
We want to inspire kids to believe they can do anything they want. Kids are hopeless, and with a little bit of hope, I think people will be surprised of the amount of kids that will become successful in life and not just not just graduate high school and do nothing, but just really be able to contribute to our society.
If you are interested in volunteering with the Trailblazers or 17 other mentoring organizations that are offered to the community, visit midlandmentoringpartnership.org. For O News, I'm Elizabeth Valla.
If you would like to help a child out by mentoring, you can find mentoring opportunities on that website you just saw. And again, that's mmpomaha.org.
Well, after the move to Division I, UNO is making a lot of changes with its athletic programs. With multiple teams finding new places to play, the softball team will also find themselves at a new home. I found out more about where they're going to be playing this spring.
UNO's Chancellor John Christensen recently said the times, they're a-changin', and those changes are no more evident than with the athletic programs. The school recently announced that the basketball team will soon be moving to the new Ralston Event Center, and the softball team will find themselves at a new home this spring.
We've been on the Clausen Westgate field for, I think, over 25 years, it seems like, and it's always been the same problems.
And problems they were. Trains periodically passing by, constant buzz from interstate traffic, no running water, portable concession stands, and even porta potties for restrooms.
You think of facilities, that's a selling point for our recruits. In my 12 years here, I have never once taken a recruit to my softball field here, and that's a problem.
Head coach Gian Scarpello has made the most of what she's had to work with, even winning a national championship in 2001. But at least for the time being, she'll have more to work with, as UNO is coupled with Westside Community Schools to use their brand new softball complex that will be finished by the end of November.
They'll have full control of the field basically during their season, which I think they'll like, and I think they'll like that setting. It's a beautiful field.
UNO will lease the complex this year with the option of 2 more while they decide what to do in the future. But the decision seems to be a great one for both parties, at least for the short term.
I think the big benefit is just the exposure that we have UNO softball at a Westside facility. And they're a Division I program. To say that they're playing at Westside, that's pretty neat.
The total cost for the completion of Westside's new softball complex is just over $1 million. UNO will be the first team to play on the new complex, practicing as early as mid-January. Their first home game on the new field is going to be a big one as they take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers March 20th. Coming up after the break, farmers are wrapping up this year's harvest.
With this year's flooding, how has that affected crops and their prices? We'll take you inside a combine after the break. Stick around.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network on Talk 17.
If you're an Omaha kid feeling tired and slow, here's the numbers you ought to know. Eat 5 fruits and veggies every day. Drink 4 glasses of water, okay? Eat 3 foods from the dairy scene. And just 2 hours in front of the screen. Now take 1 hour to move around. And that's the Healthy Kids Countdown.
For games, ideas, and other fun stuff about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Visit livewellomahakids.org. But don't stay long.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vehicle's now going supersonic.
When you want to go above.
It was something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
Will it seem almost impossible? Or push the limit?
Large tornado! It's humongous! We need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
Well, it's that time of the year again when the big combines are rolling through the farmlands of Nebraska harvesting corn and soybeans. As with every year, there are unique dynamics affecting the farmers involved. Reporter Drew Swartz takes to the fields to find out what's going on this year.
The harvest season is winding down for many of the farmers in Nebraska, and this year has been a good one.
This year's harvest has been unusual in the sense that we have had the highest yields in our area right here that we've ever had.
It's close to the top, probably 5 to 10% of what we've ever raised.
This year hasn't been good to everyone, however. The flood of 2011 was devastating to farmers with fields in the flood zone. According to Steve Harmon, the impact on those farmers is one that will last beyond this harvest season.
It's going to take years. They won't recover after this first year. There's so much silt, and the nutrition in the soil is totally gone. And I think that it'll be 3 to 5 years before a lot of those guys recover.
With thousands of acres ruined by the flood, buyers near those farmers impacted are taking steps to deal with the shortage.
The Cargill plant at Blair is paying exceptional for corn, probably over 20-25 cents more than a lot of the other places, and they're trying to attract. They realize that a lot of the producers right in that Blair area are going to be short, and they're trying to attract people from further away with their higher prices.
Good prices and high yields make this one of the best harvesting seasons in years, which means good things for the Nebraska economy. For the Omaha News, I'm Drew Swartz.
Ethanol fuel producers are also having a good year, expecting to export 700 million gallons in the country by the end of the season. When ethanol has a good season, that means good things for harvest, selling their corn and soybeans.
The next election isn't as far away as you think, and it's never too early to start getting informed about the issues and the candidates. Join us on Tuesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. for Vote 2012. Our Omaha News reporters preview each of the different races for the 2012 election. We'll also take a look at different issues, such as reforming the Electoral College and the impact of social media on the election. Vote 2012 will air on the Knowledge Network and on NET2 next Tuesday, November 8th. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Omaha News. Thanks again for watching. Looking for more? Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Omaha News or search Omaha News on Facebook.
While you're there, you can check out news stories our reporters covered, submit your own ideas, or give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. From all of us here at the Omaha News and UNO Television, good night.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor, actor and public television supporter, encouraging you to become a fan of UNO Television. Located on the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus, UNO Television is a unit of the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media. Student crew members are trained and placed in broadcasting positions that give them real-world experience. Many students move seamlessly into jobs within the local television market. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Feed Your Brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed Your Brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.